But now, these girls, they might as well not even come out. They don't even put nothing on but a shoestring.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, do not adjust your channels. You are now tuned in to another episode of Drinks and Convos, baby. Drinks and Convos, episode 9. We in here, very excited to be here today. You know what I'm saying? As you know, I am your Jose with my co-host.
It's Killer Cam.
Killer Cam. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, share these videos with your peoples, man. Continue to show them the love. Continue to keep subscribing. Really, really appreciate y'all for the love on the last couple of videos that we've been having. And yeah, how y'all doing today? You feeling good? Did you eat? You know what I'm saying? Is your mental right? Are you feeling all right? Because you better be ready. We got a very, very special episode today with a very special guest. But before we get into this guest, make sure you're poured up, you're relaxed, you're chilling. Get you something to sip on, whether that's juice, alcohol, water, coffee, tea, whatever the case may be. Make sure you're feeling good. You feel me? But without further ado, I'd like to introduce this next gentleman. This next gentleman right here is the definition of OG, okay? When you talk about original gangsters, when you talking about a person that lived the ideal life that you would love to live, when you talk about a person that rubbed shoulders with professional athletes, mayors, senators, I'm talking all the whole nine. You talk about a human time capsule sitting right here next to me. It is, an honor for him to come on this show and share some knowledge with us all and tell some incredible, funny stories. Without further ado, we have my big homie, my big uncle, Uncle Wordy, a.k.a. Young George Brown on the show, baby.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. How you feeling today?
Well, I'm feeling pretty good today, for a young fella. I enjoy
yourself.
coming down in here and taking a little time out during Black History Month, and share a little knowledge and some real talk with the young people, because I am definitely an OG.
OG, triple OG for sure. Like I said, you got, countless of stories. Multiple. I mean, you literally lived the life that a lot of people wish they could live, and man, you had the game on cheat mode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I've truly been blessed and been able to,
Yeah.
I have had a great life, and we started all long time ago, because I grew up in the largest all-black community in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Lincoln Heights, we always call it Zone 15.
Zone 15, talk about it, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Zone 15.
And I mean, when I said all-black, it was all, we had everything. The police force, the fire department, we had our own drugstores, we had a bank, we had dry cleaners, we had our own high school. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, our school was only open like 10 years, from 59 to 70.
Lincoln Heights High School, right?
Mm-hmm. Lincoln Heights High School.
Mm-hmm.
And when they closed it down, they won the state championship in every sport and broke all the records in track, and they combined in with Princeton High School.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was pretty good. I had a pretty good life. And it's very rare that a person that gets to do everything that I got to do without actually being a professional athlete. I probably could have, but we didn't have everything like they have today. But, there was no excuse. Mm-hmm. But like I said, I had an opportunity to play pro ball, and that's all. I wanted to be a preacher,
for sure,
a police, or a professional athlete. I missed them all, but I still got a chance to be a preacher. And just like a lot of the athletes, the people I went around, they had a lot of athletes that came up out of Lincoln Heights. Greg Stemrick, okay. He played with the Houston Oilers. He was all pro defensive back with the Houston Oilers. And he had the Isley brothers, Nicky Giovanni. Then you had Charles Battles, Greg Battle. It was just a whole lot of things, going on.
The Isley brothers, like the singers.
Isley, Ronald Isley,
Okay, then.
Rudolph, all of
Okay,
them.
then.
Yeah, they lived on Shoemar
Okay.
in Lincoln Heights. Yeah.
The Isley brothers lived in Lincoln Heights.
It's your thing.
All right.
Do
now.
what you want to do, Isley brothers. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then.
I ain't never knew they lived in Lincoln Heights.
Yeah, they grew up in Lincoln Heights. I think they moved right before I moved into Lincoln Heights. I moved into Lincoln Heights in '57.
Okay.
And I think they might have moved out. They're a little older than me, you know. But the Isley brothers, Clyde Brown, Charles Sperling. There was a lot of singers come up out there because James Brown used to be there. They had a little record studio too down there on Lockland Road and Chamberlain Street, you know, in Lincoln Heights.
I remember, I forget who it was, but somebody was telling me about that record store back in the day. Out there, yeah. Wow,
And it was a lot of professional. I don't know, you young fellas. You know, it was a TV show called Doc Torrey. It was like Tarzan.
Okay.
And one of the guys, the stars that was in there, his name was Harry Rhodes. He was from Lincoln Heights. And I know y'all know about Nikki Giovanni. You know, of course, she's from Lincoln Heights. Of course, me. I'm from 1-5.
For sure,
And
for sure.
it was a lot of it was a lot of people that we just didn't have all the opportunities that they had today, but we did the best. You may know we made the best of everything. You know, what we had back then. And we played hard.
For sure.
But we had a good childhood. I mean, everything was, like the Commodore said, easy like Sunday morning. We made everything easy like Sunday morning.
For sure.
And we didn't like losing.
Right.
We liked winning. And we just wasn't, and I guess we was kind of protected, but we didn't know by our parents, you know, from all the stuff outside of the Lincoln Heights, you know, like what's going on, the riots and the racial stuff, because we went where we wanted to go. If we wanted to go downtown, we went downtown. If we wanted to go to Avondale, which we called back them days, Avondale, we go to Avondale, Evanston, or whatever. You know, we had the only skating rink in the city, so everybody had to come to Lincoln Heights. So we went where we wanted to go because we knew if we had any problems, we see you when you come to the rink.
Right.
You know, it wasn't necessarily that's what we was looking forward to.
That's some old school stuff right there. You got a problem, set it at the rink. We want to meet up at the skate.
The rink, yeah, that's old school stuff right there.
Old school, for sure.
And it wasn't it was always some things going on, violence and stuff, but it wasn't like it is today. And I'm not knocking what's going on today because it is what it is. You know, everything must change, you know.
For sure.
And I don't know, I had a good life. I'm telling you, man. I went to New York, moved my sister to New York, supposed to stay a weekend, and stayed 6 years.
For sure.
Moved into Brooklyn, and it was nice up there. But it seemed like everywhere I went, when I left Cincinnati, I ran into somebody from home. I was jogging down Nostrand Avenue one day in Brooklyn, and I heard somebody say, "Wordy Brown?" It was Jimmy Hardy. He was living in a loft up there. Plus, he had a store in Philadelphia. I done lived in Dallas with my cousin Kevin Ray. He was a private investigator. But everywhere I went, it wasn't hard for me to get a job because I played sports. And all I do is go to practice. And they said, but tomorrow you be on the job because you had to be able to work, you know, in order to play, you know, any kind of sport, you had to work on that job, you know what I'm saying? The job, you know, they sponsor the team. And I don't know, man. It was just, people like I say, people don't know about Lincoln Heights. And that's why I'm glad I get the opportunity to talk about it. Not just about sports, but they had mayors, they had councilmen, they had senators, they had everything. And our parents, like I said, I lived in 4 new houses. 4 new houses.
Yeah, I wanted to get into that because, you know, great granddad Brown. I wanted you to talk a little bit about that because, you know, they had the DNG construction and basically built up the majority of Lincoln Heights and Lockland and that whole side of town. So I just wanted you to touch on that a little bit, like being a black man, especially back in that time, but seeing your dad being an entrepreneur and literally building up a whole side of town, you know. Yeah. And contributed to a lot of stuff in the Midwest.
A lot.
Actually, but just to stay on Lincoln Heights. Like, how was that? Cause y'all was the Jeffersons at one point.
Yeah, but yeah,
what
we
I'm
were the
saying?
Jeffersons. But we were the Jeffersons. Well, I can remember we moved in Lincoln Heights in '57. It was like 2 weeks before Christmas. He built the first brick house on Wabash in Lincoln Heights. I mean, they called that the uppity area, the bougie people. We was up there on Wabash. And my daddy made $75 a week and we lived in a brand new house, and it was 6 of us, and my dad, he didn't go, he was the type of man that wanted to see everybody live comfortable, comfortable in a nice home and like that. And I didn't understand what that meant because I was young. I wanted to go play and do all of this stuff. But what my daddy did, he had a plan. He worked for this lumber company called Grace Western. And he learned all the business part of the trade and how to do this and that. And then he got a job working for another company, I think it was Zayers, and he learned all the paperwork. Then he went into business for himself. And it was not known for a black man to get a loan or anything from a bank
Exactly.
to build a $70 million, I don't know how many $1 million, it might not have been 70, but it was close, project, give to a black man, in the suburb, in an all-black community. Because when he built Centennial Estates, the City Hall, and like I said, we lived in 4 new houses. Like my sisters, I was already gone. I was gone from the house, but I know the first 6, the second 6, they all lived in they lived in 4 brand new houses before they graduated from high school. And they built the first solar home in the Midwest. The governor came down and saw it. And my dad, he was into politics at first. He ran for council, but he lost. I tried to tell him I don't like politics. Dad, you campaigning for them and you lose, and then they just tell you to stay at home.
Right.
But then he started the deterrence squad, just like security, to walk through the city in the summertime. There's like security officers, like police officers. And he had his brothers. They came up from Greenville, South Carolina. That's one thing I can say about my uncles and my daddy. They worked. And they helped people. They helped black people. I didn't understand what was going on. I know he told me, he said, son, the table is set. All you got to do is sit down and eat. And I thought he meant like regular groceries. But he was telling me everything was set right there. And it was 8 of us. And he did a lot in Lincoln Heights for a lot of people. And but it just wasn't him. It was a lot more people because it was the Williams, because it wasn't nowhere in America where everything was owned by black people, everything. But it was like, he had some places in Lincoln Heights that was kind of rough, like that looked like it was like if you see an old movie or something like Roots. I mean, it wasn't as bad, but people lived in the old house. People lived right in back of our house, lived in a shack with the pot-belly stove and all of that. But everybody was friendly. You can leave your door open, your windows open, I always stayed into something, though, but I was just, I just didn't, it's just like that. But it was easy. And my friends, people I grew up with, we didn't worry about nothing. We didn't have to worry about nothing because our parents and the people in the neighborhood just took care of everybody,
Yeah, I think that's a big difference from like back in the day and then now. That whole like it takes a village to raise a kid type of mentality. Because like you said, y'all was all kind of one back in the day. And on top of that, it was a majority black-owned neighborhood. So,
it was black everything. Even in the daytime, it was dark outside. That's how black it was in Lincoln Heights.
Yeah.
And it was good. And we really didn't have no problem with, I didn't, with other people. Because, see, I lived in Lincoln Heights, and I was good in sports. But it was people better than me. So what I did, I went to Woodlawn and played with the white fellas. It was black people over there, but I figured I'd have a better chance, not all alone, because my daddy didn't play sports at all. My daddy went to work. He didn't
mess around.
He didn't play nothing about no ball. My daddy said, no, it's about the dollars. And he said the best way to double your money is to fold it. And so, like I said, I knew about the other cultures. We all did, but we just didn't have no problem with
with nobody.
with nobody.
Yeah, I was chilling.
We didn't, and we lived good in Lincoln Heights. If anything went on in Cincinnati, it came through 1-5.
For sure.
Everybody knew about 1-5 in and out of Cincinnati, you know. And we were just competitive, and we just didn't like losing nothing. Nothing. We, you know, like I said, and that's what we did as a teenager when I grew up in Lincoln Heights. In the summertime, I don't even see nobody outside it no more, you know, like kids. Because we stayed outside from sun up
Sundown.
to sundown,
Yeah, it's definitely different.
you
man.
know. And if our parents said, well, we didn't have too many street lights, you know, because we was country. Or we didn't have sidewalk. Well, Wabash, we had sidewalk. It took a while before we got it. Because in the summertime, in the summertime, they did this every summer. It'd be scorching hot. A truck would come, and you know how the tar trucks, it'll ride down the street and lay the tar first, and then another truck come behind it with gravel. That's what our streets was made of. And it was a family. I ain't gonna say their name because some of them might still be around, and I ain't trying to get no whooping. And with no shoes on. We done played baseball and softball, basketball with no shoes on. And you can't whoop them right to the day. It was a guy I went to school with named Greg Reese. He was a guard, you know. He played like Magic Johnson in the 60s. And guess what number he wore? 32. I don't even think Magic Johnson's mama was born yet. And see, we saw things way before
It happened.
you know. And it was just like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was there being that y'all had so much like success or like notoriety back in the day? Was there like some racial tension because you know
From around the surrounding neighborhoods other than that? Oh, yes. We couldn't. If we go in Reading, we have to go together. You know, at least two of us. You know, sometimes, you know, if you was really bad and you can rumble, you didn't care how many went with, you know, like Reading,
right,
Norwood, Elmwood, them places, you know. And when we played them in sports, they want to fight. They would want to fight. You know, they done brick the bus, threw bottles at the bus, but we still won the game and the fight away from Lincoln Heights. It's just the way it happened. I guess they tried to put fear in us, but the only people we was afraid of was our parents.
Right.
That was it. We wasn't scared of nobody else because our parents told us, if they touch you, you know what to do.
Right.
But we didn't go to start no trouble nowhere.
Yeah, for sure.
We didn't go nowhere and say, well, we going over here and beat them. We didn't do that.
Right.
But if we wanted to go to a store over there, if we just wanted to walk through, that's what we did. You know, we just didn't have no limitations where we could or couldn't go. You know, that's just the way it was, you know. Yeah. And we had one guy, since this Black History Month, they always talking about how we so always doing wrong and doing this. It was a guy, it was an insurance man, he was white. He used to come and sell insurance, and like a little short man, he couldn't even beat a fly. And they whooped him a couple of times, but after that, the people told him, no, don't bother him. He had a free pass. I mean, like he can come in there when he wanted to, you know. But everybody in Lincoln Heights worked. Everybody had jobs in the cars. I mean, we had everything. We even had a race strip down on Lockland Road at nighttime. Mustangs, Road Runners, Super Bs, Super Sports, GTOs. At nighttime, that's what people did, you know.
Yeah, I was racing cars back in the day.
And we lost a lot of friends, you know, like swimming in the creek. You know, that's why I didn't swim in the creek. That's why I didn't go, because they only had to see one time.
Right.
You know, and but it was a good experience. But in Lockland, which was right down the hill from us,
right next door.
Yeah, a lot of people graduated from Wayne, you know, and they moved to Lincoln Heights, you know, surrounding areas. But you know, people used to talk about, well, the zone is this, the zone is that, but zone was rich. Everybody worked. Everybody had money, a nice house, you know, and cars and stuff. Yeah. But we just hate losing. And we didn't get bullied. We didn't you just ain't gonna bully us, tell me about what we can't do, because we gonna do it.
How was that? Cause I'll be hearing the stories, that my granny say, or my mom would tell me, or some stories that you would tell me when them colonizers came over, and basically kind of like took the neighborhood from the neighborhood. Like how was that? I know that had to be like sucking the breath out of Lincoln Heights to a certain extent.
Yeah, because before that even happened, it was a place called the Valley Homes. It used to be old Army barracks. But more people lived in the Valley Homes. They worked hard. They made money, good money. But they let the people in the like the mayors and the council people, they might not have knew too much about. I don't know what to say about the land and the worth of what it's worth,
Okay.
And they might have needed something right then because Lincoln Heights was newly established, and GE used to be part of Lincoln Heights,
Right. Yeah.
but they end up selling it to Evendale because if they had kept GE, we would have never. I know our school would have never closed, and we would have had more revenue. I guess that is coming in all the time, but we didn't have nothing.
So GE was already there while y'all was there,
Yeah, GE was there.
and it was just sold off.
The
That's what
Evendale. That
turned
was
it
Lincoln
around.
Heights. That was part of Lincoln Heights. Lincoln Heights owned GE. It was on the other side of 75.
Right. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It was on the other side of 75. It was part of Lincoln Heights. Now they're telling me that GE has bought part of Lincoln Heights, or attempted to, where they putting in a new freeway and highway and all that. That's benefiting GE. Because everybody in Lincoln Heights either worked at GE, General Motors, Ford, Stearns and Foster, Philip Carey, places. But everybody worked.
Yeah.
Everybody worked,
Hard working.
And I wouldn't want to live nowhere else. And we had about, back in the day, people call them juke joints and stuff like that. We had about 8 or 9 clubs in Lincoln Heights. And, every now and then somebody get in a fight or something, but we always had something to do.
Right. It was cool.
We always had something. And me, myself, I really didn't understand what was going on with Lincoln Heights, 'cause that's history.
Right.
Nowhere in America was it a city that was ran and owned by all black people. But somebody seen something of another color or whatever and saw the potential in it. And it just slowly began to dwindle because when the drugs showed up, because in the 70s we got free and we got high. I'm not going to tell no lie, because I'm truly blessed. I'm 71 years old. We got free and we got high. But they had a plan already in motion.
To come take over.
To come get them.
Yeah.
When you're making too much money, that's
We
when they want to come
making
in.
too much money building. The first solar home in the Midwest, a black man, my daddy. I mean, it just Lincoln Heights was building up. Had one of the baddest. You know what a little story is. Like the people like in them days call them pony cat.
Yeah.
Everybody knew about the Sugar Shack. Had the picture of Marvin Gaye's album on it. Everybody knew the Sugar Shack. We had softball league, football league, people from all over the city. Anything that went on, that was going on, they come through the zone.
Through the zone 15.
Come through the zone. And I'm not forgetting Lockland and Wyoming and Woodlawn and Hollydale, all that. But we talking about black owned.
Right.
We had everything.
Right.
And I don't know. But anyway, I'm going to have to cut that off. But that's the way it was in Lincoln Heights. Everything we had about 3 drugstores. We had places where they even had Venetian blinds. Them old Venetian blinds. You don't know because you ain't but 12. Them Venetian blinds, them metal ones.
Yeah.
We had it was called Brights, Venetian blinds, and we had a loan company. We had Mr. Lau. He was a attorney. We had our own supermarkets, Moxley's and Hilltop, and churches. We had everything. Everything. If we didn't want to go out in Lincoln Heights, only reason we reason to go out of Lincoln Heights was to go to work. That was it. And I got by really because I wasn't a good boy when I was young. I wasn't. You know, I was kind of bad, but I guess God saw fit for me to. He got something for me to do. You know, and because my uncle was the chief of police, my brother was a police. I had cousins that were sergeants, but we wasn't no. I'm telling you, it wasn't really no killings like it is today. We fought each other. You better.
Right.
We had to fight the upper sub against the lower sub, and it was one place you had to have a pass to go to, and that was Little Georgia.
Georgia, yeah.
Little Georgia.
And that, like you said earlier, off camera, that was a little spot in Lincoln Heights where basically that whole, like, part of the neighborhood was from down south.
Yeah, mostly from down south, and all of them was like family, and they were. You know, we used to tease them, oh man, Little Georgia, and they got dirt yards and all that. You didn't say that in front of them. You know, because they slam quarters out you. They slam quarters out you. And it was just certain streets you just didn't go on. I know my mom and them used to say, but go around Miss Gibson and get some ginger snaps and write a note and give me a pack of pale mail. I'd be saying, oh, I got to go past Naughty Pine House. I didn't want to go because Naughty Pine me want my change. It ain't my change, my mama change.
Right.
I know one time my daddy sent me to the store. I told him, I said, well, this guy, his name was Freddie. I ain't going to say his last name. He used to take my change. My daddy said, this what you do. He said, you put your hand in your pocket and you ball it up. And when you bring it out, you hit him hard as you can in his eye. And I did. And he dusted a whole field with me. He dusted a whole field with me, but me and him didn't never had no problems or nothing. And like all my daddy's brothers, they moved to Lincoln Heights. But most of them, you know, my father, he didn't graduate from college or nothing. One of his brothers did. And like I said, your grandmother, she was good. Sharon, my sister, I had 6 sisters, and I was the oldest, so I had to know how to knuckle up. But they did not mess with my sisters because they knew my daddy.
Right.
Mr. Brown, like if they wanted to date one of my sisters, they had to ring the doorbell. You can't come and blow no horn. Yeah. You know, they just had different kind of things, you know, different sorts of things. And it's just something like whoever see this video or whatever, let them know that it was a community. It's still a community, but it's just not all black. And now they don't have no police force, none of that. The Hamilton County had to come in, you know. But it's not because it couldn't have been. It's just the way they was treated. And like I said, when the 70s came, when we got free, we got high. And the more drugs, and then when the crack showed up, it was over. Because like Fishburne said, how is it that we got all the drugs and stuff? We ain't got no ships. We ain't got no planes to get it. So how is it coming? And then they give it to us and say, sell it and use it. But if we catch you, you're going to jail.
Right. It's crazy. That whole Reagan epidemic.
But it's all good. And like people talk about black history. We didn't have no black history when I was in school. We was making history.
Right.
Because in 63, when Kennedy got killed, 68, when I graduated, that's when Martin Luther King. And so all that started, I'm telling you, if you wasn't born between 40 and 60, you missed it all. That was the best time, I don't care, for America. Well, let's say from 40 to 70. Because that's when America really changed. All the way. Really changed, you know.
Yeah, flip that script. That's some rich history right there. But just to keep it moving along and segue to some other topics.
Yeah, we can get to some other ones.
How is it now? You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, you know, you rub shoulders, been around with a lot of people
with the
that
big fellas.
Yeah, that people can't even imagine. You know what I'm saying? You was a smooth criminal back in the day. You know what I'm saying? With the ladies.
Thing.
Hey, young fellas, be careful because he might know your mama.
Might know her. Just know her. That's all.
How was that though? You know what I'm saying? Moving around, doing your thing.
Well, the first when I left at Lincoln Heights, I would say, and started messing with different athletes. It was around 72. You know, when I played softball, cause played against guys that used to be professional athletes. You know, like Leo Cardenas and all them guys. They used to play with the Cincinnati Reds. But a friend of mine that I went to school with, Lofell Williams, Greg Stemrick, played with the Houston Oilers. Uh, I know I was married. I got married, and I was the type. I ain't got time for no arguing.
For sure.
I'm not arguing. You want to argue, yickety yakety, yickety yakety, and I'm not touching you, and I'm gonna put my hands on you.
For sure.
So, if you want to argue, you argue by yourself. I used to get on the phone. We didn't have cell phones. Get on the phone and call People's Express and fly into Newark International, or down in Houston. And I went down there with Greg Stemrick. I done had the pleasure of being with Billy White Shoes Johnson, C.L. Whittington, Zeke Moore, Greg Stemrick, like I said, Stemrick, Dan Pastorini, Ken Burrows, and the great Coach Bum Phillips.
Oh yeah, you was doing your thing.
And little did I know, I could have probably played football, pro football. I could have played. But I didn't. I just liked that lifestyle.
Right.
You know, and there's a lot of people that was around me, and they used to look, they would come get me. You know Bubba Smith. He played in Police Academy. You know, Big Bubba. Big Bubba would come and get me, him and his brother. We go to the little bars and drink, and the women, I was using football players' names. I was going in there and telling them I was Zeke Moore, and just get all the women in there. And let's say Dave Parker used to play with the Pittsburgh Pirates. I knew Big Dave. And they used to mention him. I said, oh, yeah, I used to hang with them. I only played a couple of games with Dave. But I told him I played a whole bunch of with Dave. And the boxer Aaron Pryor in Miami with Aaron. I mean, it's just so much. And then Lofell got drafted by the Bengals. He went in the 9th round. And they used to practice at Wilmington College. You know.
Okay. Yeah.
So I went up there. I was just lucky and blessed and ran and met Paul Brown, the owner of the Bengals. And I was wearing one of them safari hats. He said, my wife bought me one of those hats, but she won't let me wear it. I said, I don't know why. He said, who you here with? I said, I'm here with Lofell Williams. He did, but don't worry about nothing. You can come in and eat lunch. Whenever we eat, the cafeteria is open to you. And I mean, I just had that type of personality, but my brain was thinking more money, because I like money, because and Lofell got a brand new Lincoln. He had a Lincoln. It was maroon, a Mark IV, and he wouldn't drive it. He'd be up up in Wilmington. I'd be in Cincinnati.
Rolling.
And then I remember when he got cut, he called me, he said, come and get me, I'm cut. I said, cut? He act like it was some normal stuff. Like, he don't care. When other teams wanted, he said, I don't care if they want me. I ain't playing no more football. I'm done. And that's when the fun began. And, and we met Aaron and different people. You know, a lot of people get opportunities, but it just wasn't for me to be a professional athlete. I just hung out with him. I mean, I went places. When I went with Aaron to Miami, they treated him way different from when they treated him in Cincinnati. We went to Tony Roma's. And I was sitting next to Aaron, and Aaron said, "This is my bodyguard." That's where Aaron talking. This Casey, this is my bodyguard. And that man looked at me and said, "You got some big shoes to fill." And I was saying to myself, "I don't care as long as I got big pockets too."
You want to know something that's crazy though? Is that me and him actually went to school with Aaron Pryor's nephew.
Yeah. Okay. Well, must have been one of Cat's kids. Okay then.
Yeah, his name is Aubrey.
Yeah, he went to Northwest? Okay.
And middle school. He went to middle school. Yeah, middle school with it too. Yeah.
And Aaron was a good guy. He just had people around him before, because he could go. In the gym, he could go. I mean, go. And out of all the people, and Aaron was he just wanted some friends. He was a good guy. He was really a good guy, but he could. And out of all the people, when he got ready to make that comeback, he sent for me. I know I was working for Cincinnati Gas and Electric, and his lawyer was in town. He said, well, Aaron wants you to come down because he wants you to make up a theme for his fight against Bobby Joe. Because Aaron thought I was a singer because I could sing and tell jokes and stuff. So I made up a theme. You would have thought I was fighting. When I got there, they had the limousine come up to the airport in Fort Lauderdale. I got there, Camacho was there, all of them was down there. Oh man, Buddy LaRosa. And when I walked through the door, Aaron said, Casey here now. You know, that's what he called me, Case. And I made up a nice rhyme for he lost that fight though. I said, I hope I didn't bring him no bad luck. He just wasn't in no shape. You know, right then. But they knew they was just making money. Walter Alvarez was the promoter. But I made up a nice rhyme for him, and the name of the theme was Thunderdome. You seen that movie with Mel Gibson, Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome? And he had a little saying in there, like, 2 men enter, and 1 man leave. That was the theme. And I made up a rhyme. I would say it for you, but I don't want nobody to try to, have me sign a contract. I won't make no money.
For sure.
But, go ahead. What you gonna say?
No, I was saying for sure. That's crazy, man. Being able to maneuver and do your thing like you was doing back in the day. Yeah.
I done been placed. A friend of mine told me, said, man, you done been placed where people just done dreamed of going.
Man,
and different athletes. And it could be done. I was just blessed. It could be done like right today. Right today. But we didn't have everything like, we practiced by the reservoir. Football. You know how I learned how to hit a curveball? Our coach took a stick out the woods, a branch, and tied a tire in a tube from a bicycle on it and set it right here. And if we was to step that way, the other tube would pop back and hit us in the face. That's how we learned how to hit a curveball. Nowadays, they got everything. We didn't have no weight room. We didn't have no football. We didn't have nothing.
Right.
But we let them know we coming.
We got all types of machinery and computers now.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
I mean, and the guys that I'm talking about, they were 4 sports. Played for all 4 sports. And was good at everything. I tried to run track one time, and I got halfway around, about 16 monkeys was all on. He was pulling me back. I ain't ran track since.
Yeah, for sure.
Have you ever came across Tony Tubbs?
Oh man, TT. Tony Tubbs is cool. Tony. Because we was supposed to go to when he fought Tyson. I think we fought him in Tokyo. I think it was Tokyo. Because what's the guy from the radio station? Lincoln, where we all met out at the furniture place out there on Ridge and Kennedy Heights. We was doing some kind of little benefit, and Tony was there. I know Tony. Tony used to be at the club over in Walnut Hills on Woodward Avenue. Tony was a good guy. I'm telling you, all of these, they always talk about black athletes, and especially from Cincinnati, the boxers. But I think it's all, they set them up. Because these good people, man, they good people. But it's a transition from the hood to the good.
Right.
Because you can't move from where everybody know Winton Terrace is a bad place. It's kind of like, the hood. You can't move from Winton Terrace to Forest Park and change oil in your front yard. You can't do it. It's a different thing. It's a transition. You got to be able to make that transition. And a lot of people couldn't make it because if you come up out the hood and you knocking people out every day and you ain't getting nothing but, let's say, $100 or $200 a fight, and then you sign and you start knocking people out for real money and they give you like $2 million and you used to getting 200, what you gonna do?
Yeah, that's
Go
true.
crazy.
You gonna lose you have to be, somebody got to be in your corner. You got to have some good people with you. And Buddy LaRosa was good with Aaron. He was, he helped Aaron out, but sometimes people can sneak through them cracks. You can't have no cracks,
Right.
And it's a different lifestyle, because I done been with Sylvester Stallone. I done been with I done sipped champagne with Jane Kennedy. I done been with the big boys.
Tell some of them stories. How in the world you get with Sylvester? With Rocky? How you get with Rocky?
It was easy. He wanted to do a film of Aaron.
Oh.
He wanted to do, and it was when we went to Miami, and Sly. He ain't that tall. I ain't gonna talk to him because he's strong. I ain't gonna mess with him. And but you'd be surprised. A lot of people use different athletes just to get paid. Like when Aaron fought that Bobby Joe fight, Aaron wasn't in no shape. Been smoking dope and all that. You know, he wasn't in no shape, but he went on cost of the promoters making that money. You know, but when Aaron told me that I want to make them 10 stacks for 4 days, yes, sir. Fly me to the moon. I'm coming. You know?
So.
And it's just a transition. And people always talking about all these athletes, like basketball players you hear about that, they talking about, man, they ain't got no money because they didn't sit down, they ain't had nobody with them to help them plan it and do the right thing.
Right, nobody talk to them.
You know, they ain't had nobody to show them because I don't care if it's you can have a good intentions. Let's say you have good intentions. You go number 1 in the draft, and you get $10 million just to sign your name.
Right.
And you've been working on the job getting $500 a week, and you just signed for $10 million. What you gonna do if ain't nobody done told you and showed you what to do with that kind of money?
That's right. Ain't gonna know.
You might not even make it to play a game.
Right. Yeah, especially like back in the day now, because you know, in today's society, they try to like get people hooked up with like financial advisors and it's a lot of stuff on the internet, classes and all that to help you out. But back in the day, wasn't nobody talking to nobody.
We had nothing.
But you see, I think now though, like you got to be educated yourself. Like y'all didn't have access to that type of education,
right?
Like
we got it now.
We do now, cause I ain't gonna say like if you get took, it's all on you, but you got to be willing to educate yourself a little bit more. Y'all didn't have that education available, you know what I mean?
But a lot of our parents did. You know, like it was a man named Mr. Harding, Big House. He was the treasurer of Lincoln Heights. Him and Lofell Williams, Mr. Williams, you know, he was the principal at Hughes High School. And it was and like the teachers where we went to high school at, they cared about us. And they tried to tell us, you know, and they told a lot of people, and some people did, and some people did. We had a choice. I ain't trying to put it on it, but we just didn't have it like you said. We didn't have no financial advisors and all that. Because I know if I had got drafted and I'm signing and I'm getting $5 million, first thing I was going to get was a Porsche. And then, you know, I'm going to spend the money because that's just the way it was, because black people didn't really have a lot back then. We didn't, you know.
Right, yeah.
And our parents taught us, and I don't care what my daddy did. He told me, you know. So I don't have no excuse, but a lot of people just didn't have the people, you know, because it just began to change in the 70s. Because, you know, a lot of people still got stuck in the 70s because it took a long time for them to get through.
Yeah, because, like, kind of like what like, my mom's story is, you know what I mean? Like, when my grandma do drugs and stuff, you know, back around that time, you can kind of see, like, how everything got lost in the time, you know what I mean? Like, because of the mindset. So with my mom not having her mom, she raised by her grandparents, and the mindset and the information isn't there. So that's how you get in the position that, you know,
kind of
you get in now. Yeah, you kind of get skipped over, and you're making up now. You know what I mean? So,
and a lot of them nowadays, it's really different. I mean, and not just for the people don't really get to meet. Like, look, I don't know what year y'all was born, but let's say the 75, 76 Cincinnati Reds, when they won back-to-back World Series. You know how much Pete Rose got? You know how much money Johnny Bench was making? Joe Morgan back in them days? I think they might have been making, might have been 100,000. Just 100,000 a year, maybe. 80,000. Beating them, they might have been 120. You know, and if they was playing today, they'd probably get 125 million.
Yeah,
you know, it's just different. And they was bad. They was unstoppable. The baddest. I mean, it was the baddest baseball team I ever seen. And I've seen a lot of baseball. I was born in 1949. I don't know if you can count back that far. In 1949, I done seen them all. Hank Aaron and all them. They didn't make no money. And they, it was just rough. But now, like that guy from the San Diego, he was on Sports Center the other day. $340 million. And he ain't even cashed the check. They said that he signed for something. Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Heck yeah, 340 million. Ooh-wee.
But it's really what you're making. Life is really what you're making. And I had a good life. I ain't got no complaints. Look at my face. Do I look like I done had some trouble? And I just been blessed. Yeah, and I did there's a lot of things I would do over. But then some, it's not. Yeah. It's just not. Because I enjoyed. I'm telling you, we had a childhood, and we didn't have all of the things. You know how we got muscles? Those rods that they put in the ground for pour the concrete over. We used to get them and put bricks on them and lift weights. Sonny Smiley was the only one that had weights. That's how we got strong.
That's crazy.
That's how we built our own baseball field on Wabash. We took the lawnmowers and cut the weeds down in the woods. And we used to play against each other. We played against the Valley Homes. We played against Little Georgia and all that. But when we grew older, we wasn't too much scared of Little Georgia then because everybody had got friends, Because we had our own high school and everything. But it's just that's why I say kids now, I don't have no sympathy for them. I don't. Because they got it made, man. They got it made. Definitely. And you ain't got to say, well, it's going to always going to be some racism. It's going to always be. It's simple as that. It's going to be that. I don't care they say it's getting better. No, it's not. Right. Yeah. It's not. It's not going to get no better. But you can make that money. You can try to make your life a little better. Who would have heard of a black man owning a basketball team?
It's true.
Or a baseball team. So that's just the way it was. But see, y'all young, y'all got I'm telling you, y'all doing the right thing. But you need to know the truth about what's going on, what went on, and how far, people have come. Because we couldn't do nothing for real. But that's why our parents, I think that's why I said we was protected. Because we didn't know we didn't care nothing about nothing. We didn't have no worries. None. Because we knew we was going to eat. We was going to have clothes. And on Easter, we was going to have new clothes. On Christmas, we was going to have new clothes. Whatever it was, because that's what our parents did. That's what our parents did.
See, that's another blessing within itself, too. And another thing that I understand growing up is having that security with your parents. You know what I mean? That's so important, but at the same time, it's so scarce in the black community, too.
It is. Yeah. Because most people, when I was growing up, we had two parents. Most families had two parents, a mama and a daddy, and sometimes a grandma and a granddaddy, too. Right. Nowadays, they got a half a parent. Because the parent that's at home only there half of the time. Because the kids is raising the parents. I think y'all class, your parents, was the last group that handled the business like they supposed to. Because sometimes I done heard kids talk to parents, ooh-wee. Take the trash out and put it over there. You take it out. Oh, no. If I had said that, my mouth still be over here next to my ear. I'd be talking and hearing myself at the same time. Man. Especially because they work hard.
I wouldn't even fix my lips to say that.
That's what I'm saying. I can't even
don't even know what a switch is anymore.
A switch? The only switch, you tell them, go get me a switch. They'll go in the other room and unscrew this light switch and bring it in there and hand it to you. Right. They don't know nothing about it. And my daddy made me go get one.
Oh, yeah.
Go get one. And I knew to go get one. I'm going to tell you some story. I was living on Wabash. I was about 11. I was about 11 years old, friend of mine up the street. We ain't had nothing to do. And they was building Prairie Street. I don't know if you remember where Prairie is up in Lincoln. Mr. Briggs was building a new house. You know what we did? We went over there in the house, one of the new houses. People hadn't moved in or nothing. And we took paint and poured it all over the sink, all over the new cabinets and everywhere. And then Mr. Williams, he was the sergeant in Woodlawn. Somebody had told they saw me and Jerry Connors. Mr. Williams came to my house and told my daddy. My daddy said, okay, I'm gonna take care. Whatever it is, I'm gonna pay for it. I'll take care of it. He said, Junior, was you in it? I said, paint all on my pants. I'm telling a straight lie. My daddy took me in the basement. You know them steel beams? Mm-hmm. I had to take my clothes off. My daddy tied me up, buck naked. He made me say Toby, and Roots hadn't even came out yet. That's how I got beat for stuff like that. And my grandmother came down the steps and said, Eddie, you gonna kill him. My daddy said, I know it. Boom. But see, that don't happen nowadays.
Nah, it don't.
People talk to their mamas and stuff crazy.
Somebody might try to call child services.
You know how they call child service? You know now how they got.
Yeah, none of that.
They didn't have that. And if they did, I remember I lived in Trenton, New Jersey, and my son Kenny, school's about 48 now. And we told him, don't take your watch or that money to school. It was the day after his birthday. It was in October. Mm-hmm. He took it and he lost his watch and his money. So his mama took one of those little chairs. It was a little wicker chair. And said, take this in there. And it hit his leg and he got a little bruise. He went to school and told him that his mama hit him with that chair. And they called them diapers, Department of Youth and Family Services in New Jersey. They came over the house and I'm like, well, you're going to have to be taking these classes. I said, I ain't taking nothing. She want to go with you. And if you want to take him, you can keep him with you too. Because mine ain't going to do what I say do, or they ain't going to be in here. It's just the way it was, but it's all good, though. Because y'all had me, I had a few things I wanted to say, but I done had a good one. I am truly blessed, man. And y'all got it. Yeah. I'm telling y'all fellas, y'all see this thing? Y'all got here lit up?
Yeah, man.
Only like my uncles and them had cameras. We couldn't even look at a camera. We better not say nothing or touch it. We didn't have this, get a chance to speak and let somebody else know what's really going on. Yeah. But right now, because you can do it and have what you want to have now.
Yep, just about. Yep.
You can do and have what you want to have and have it right now. Mm-hmm. If we wanted to know something, we had to do a book report. We had encyclopedias. You know what an encyclopedia is? Yeah. Do you know what an encyclopedia is? We had to do something. My daddy bought them because people used to go to house selling books. And if you wanted to know something, you had to go to the encyclopedia and get it. Now you just Google. Who fought the War of 1812? And it's over. Right. We had to read, and a lot of people couldn't read. Couldn't read. But I'm telling you, like the school I went to, we had blind people and crippled people. Went to our high school. Couldn't even see, but they could go to school. Girl didn't have no arms or legs. She had them wooden legs and walked like this and wrote like this with an ink pen, with her elbows. And these kids nowadays don't even want, I'll be on TV. On CNN, I ain't gonna say, I ain't gonna say what kind of network it is because I don't want to, the crazy nigga network. One of them kids be crazy.
You want to know something? Like, I feel like my great grandma wasn't like. I mean, I was the first great grandchild, so I ain't never really get like whooped from her. But it was like one thing she told me, and I realized to the day was like, now I'd rather whoop you and show you how your actions, can cause other things to happen than these white people out here, and they teach you. I'd rather teach you than they teach you, because that's especially the time in your era. I could see the reason why your dad did what he did, because it's like, let that been a white person's house. You know what I mean? And they come in to kill you instead of just whooping you. They want to bring actual harm to you.
Right. And then when you get in trouble, man, I went to juvenile. You know what? I think I was retarded, and I needed some medication or something. I should have been on medication because it was around Easter time, and I had did something to my uncle worked at 2020 Auburn Avenue, the look. So I heard my daddy tell him, we gonna send him to that 2020 for the weekend. I went to 2020. Look, when they let me come home, I ran away from home and went back to 2020 and knocked on the door because I wanted to go back in there. I knew
Goodness.
I should have knew then something was wrong with me.
Man.
You know.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. But nowadays, I ain't got nothing against with progress because you got to, because everything must
Gotta
change.
progress. Yeah.
But you got to change too.
Speaking on that, the change part, you know, you're an older gentleman now, very seasoned veteran. You know what I'm saying? Speak on that change a little bit, like your personal change or the change that you seen around you. You know what I'm saying? The changes, growing
I
up.
usually don't talk about it, but it don't matter to me because what I'm telling somebody is going to help them. You know, because I got high too. I got high as a witch doctor. And you can't get high as a witch doctor. Witch doctor, all this stuff on his face. You know, and you can't get higher than that. And I kept continuing. And what I was doing, I was trying to trick myself. You can't trick yourself.
Right.
And then a certain people give me chance, keep giving you chance and give you a chance. But you got to make up in your mind it is a lot easier. It is. It's easier to do the right thing than it is to do the wrong thing.
Right.
And my life changed around. It's your association. I don't care what nobody say. It's your association.
Right, your circle. Who you got
You know,
around you.
because I know a lot of guys when I went to high school, good guys, good athletes. But when they got out of high school, they got the rest of it. Drinking syrup, shooting dope. I didn't never shoot no dope. I was scared of the down high. I just wanted to be up. But you have to make up in your mind one day
Right.
that it's over. Right. And you got to do it. I don't care. They talk about they got different programs. Yeah, they got programs. But it wasn't no programs at first until the senators, the congressmen, the state representatives, their sons and daughters started getting high and getting caught up. Then we got programs now, the Betty Ford Center, all these. But it's a change. You got to want something out of life. And you got to think about somebody else other than yourself. You got to think about somebody other, the people that's really trying to, and the people you hurt. I know a friend of mine, well, he's a relative. He said, you got to stop doing that because you're not hurting nobody. You're hurting myself and this other person that was believing in me.
Right, yeah.
You know, for a long time. Like I'm going to say, his mama. I don't care what I did, whatever. She looked past the bad. She'll stop messing with me. But she looked past the bad, see all the good. And she know. And then when I left this last time it's a done deal. Yeah. And I don't want to say this word, but I'm going to go ahead and say this. Somebody come up to me and just say, stick to it. I'm going to say, nigga. 911? Yeah, he's trying to give me some dope. I'm going to tell. I don't care if you see me on TV. Yes, I don't. And I can't drink. You know, because if I drank and you step on my shoe, I'm going to do like they did in 1960. You stepping on my shoe, kapow, you know. But no, I ain't going to do that. But it's up to an individual. Because life too short. It ain't about me.
Right.
And I'm the oldest in my family. When I say oldest, ain't nobody older than me. No aunts, no uncles, no nothing. I got to set a good example now for the little kids now. Because they like me. They always say, Uncle Wordy, Uncle Wordy. And they don't want to see no Uncle Wordy out in the streets, high chasing, doing this in jail. They don't want that. And so I just had to make up my mind. And I don't care who don't like it.
That's what's up.
I don't care who don't like it.
That's a message that a lot of people need to hear because, you know, it ain't only drugs. It could be something else.
Yeah, it could be anything.
That, you know what I mean? That you need to stop or get unaddicted from, or you know what I mean? Just a lot of different stuff, man.
And I don't really like to get into this, but I'm just gonna say this: is the politics and religion. I don't care what nobody say. You got to do it for yourself, cause it's something up there. It's somebody out. I don't care. Don't tell me. And I used to be embarrassed when I used to say God or something like that. He the one made me.
Right.
And he undefeated.
Yeah.
That's why I believe in it, you know.
Got that
and
favor.
Look at me. Like I'm telling you, I done been on drugs, all of that. And I'm 71 years old and I'm still healthy.
Right.
So it got to be him. So I got to have a reason, a purpose for it. Because me and what's his name used to talk about, oh man, we got to get in the room, we got to get on the mic, we got to get on it. And never did now, I'm able to do all that now.
Right. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Favor
And I don't
ain't
have
fair.
to work. I ain't got to do nothing.
Favor ain't fair, but you got it.
Hmm?
Favor ain't fair, but you got
That's
it.
right. Favor ain't fair. I heard TDJ say favor ain't fair. It ain't.
Ain't fair,
But I
you
got it.
You definitely got it.
After
man.
all I've done, but I don't worry about yesterday because yesterday is gone forever. You can't let yesterday, because you be your worst enemy.
Right.
If you keep worried about what you did yesterday, you got to live for today and make sure you plan for tomorrow.
It's facts.
Because this pandemic, it's a bad memory. I done seen a whole lot. You know what's the worst disease it was when I was growing up? It ain't even no disease no more. Polio. You ever heard of polio?
Polio, yeah, polio disease. Yeah,
That was the worst. Ooh, when somebody say polio, nigga, that nigga nigga straight. Back in the day, you say, oh, you can catch polio, then they dropping it.
Yeah. Transitioning on, keep it moving. So what you doing now? You know what I'm saying? This pandemic done hit. How you spending your days? How you chilling?
This is what I do. I eat. What I do, like I said, when I moved, I like what I do. I just get up. I just try to do the right thing. I go to church. I found a nice little church. I go to church. I don't want to be a deacon because it's still some things that I got to do. You know, I like to do, and I ain't trying to be no hypocrite. You know, but the place I go, it's good. And I try to help people, other people. I don't care. And I try to do a little work. I ain't trying to be slick because I done did all the slick. You can't trick me because I know all about all that, and I don't want to do that no more because I made a commitment. See, and I used to wonder why old people always talk about God. I say, them old people, that's all they talk about. What else you got to talk about? But that's for your next step. Because I'm in the fourth quarter and I ain't got no time out.
Yeah.
I'm in the fourth quarter of my life and I ain't got no time out. So I ain't trying to make up for yesterday. I'm just trying to make today all right and tomorrow. Real simple.
Yeah, I feel like definitely with a person like you, you know what I'm saying, you lived your best life, you know what I'm saying, your ups and your downs. So when you able to get to an age like yourself and just reflect and chill, that's what's up.
And it's a blessing, it's true, because this is true, I ain't trying to get emotional. I've even got emotional in a minute. But I have had a good life. I'm telling you, a good life. Even with the good and the bad, I done had a good life. I done been across the water. You ever heard of St. Martin? I done been places and done things. And I don't have no complaints, and God still got me here, and I'm healthy. And I'm able to sit here at the table with y'all and just help somebody else.
Yep.
And people that know me, that if they see this, they're going to say, well, Case, he done changed. But it ain't about them knowing, it's about me knowing and knowing it in my heart. Right. Because I got a grandson I love to death. It's them, it's their turn. And I think about, I don't want them to go through what I had to go through. I got kids that do crazy stuff, and but my daddy told me. My daddy told me, I'm telling you, if your people tell you this, you better pay attention. He say, you know how you worried me, and you doing all, it's gonna come back on you when you get older. And it ain't like it's a bad thing, but it's a curse. And I'm telling you, God is real, man. Stuff spiritual. You don't have to look at it like that, but you got to be careful what you say and what you do.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because you can say something out your mouth and it'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen. I'm telling you, that's the truth.
Powerful.
You can say, but it's not what goes in your body that defiles it, but what comes out. And I'm a witness. I know for a fact. And I got an IQ of 147. And I used to think that meant I was smart. No, I didn't. It meant I had the ability to be smart and to learn. But you got to put forth an effort.
For sure. Got to put forth an effort.
And I still have fun. I still like doing this stuff. I ain't married. I got a woman. I start. And but I still do things because little things. I look. Because you can't help but look nowadays because
Right.
they're not wearing nothing.
Talk about that. How is it
and-
different from the ladies now from the ladies back in the day?
They was bad back in the day. Two sisters was, ooh, hallelujah. I knew there was a God. Look, back in the day, the women, when I went to school, the women was fine too. I mean, fine. They just wasn't as, I don't even know the word, but they was fine.
Yeah.
They was fine.
What you about to, I know you about to say some funny stuff. Man.
They was fine,
Yeah.
and But now, these girls, they might as well not even come out. They don't even put nothing on but a shoestring. Now, because when I came up, when I was playing sports, I mean, softball, because that's how I got the nickname Showcase. Oh, I can go. I'm a legend out in the zone in the ball play. But they had them hot pants. Hot pants was hotter than Daisy Dukes. And they look good. Women look good. But this nowadays,
What is it? Talk to us. Tell us. What is it?
they got that boom, boom, boom. And all of them. And it used to be a thing where guys didn't like big girls. Give me a big girl, too. Big girls know how to dress. But the women, they more...
They more robust.
Yeah, more, yes. And the stuff that they wear is the design and the clothes. And you can put on a pair of black tights. A girl can put on a pair of black tights and walk and be bad. But then she can go put on a pair of white tights with them tiger stripes and stuff in it, and it makes the body, makes the stuff, and you just be all, Jesus, don't do this to me. And it just makes it shimmer.
Hey, we definitely walking in the land of temptation now.
Y'all?
Hey, me and him can tell you.
I wouldn't want to be young nowadays. I wouldn't. Because back in the day, when men used to get women, they call them, jump on. They used to call them tree jumpers. Nowadays, they just stay in the tree. Men just stay in the tree. But it's okay.
Yeah.
It's just the way it is. It's part of the lifestyle. But y'all got it made, man. I'm telling you, if I could be 25 one more time, but I have to be 25 and 75, because that's when I was 25.
Yeah.
I had to be a 75, 25. I can't be no 2021,
25. Yeah. For sure.
Because I don't see how y'all can have just one woman.
Hey.
How can you have one? Because her sister look good, her cousin look good,
Her friends.
and if you look good,
We got
it's
some-
all good.
Man, we can go on our little app.
Man, we can.
You go on Instagram or Facebook, and it's
Yeah,
it's
y'all-
1,000 more.
I almost said something.
Yeah, nah, yeah, we gonna leave it alone.
Yeah, we gonna leave that
we gonna
alone.
go to a
Now, I'm gonna tell you this.
After recording.
Yeah, but I'm gonna tell you this.
Yeah.
I still got game.
I've seen you in action, OG.
Yeah, I
I've
still
seen you
got
in
game.
action. Yeah,
But I just made a commitment.
for sure.
Because I'm going to look, and they'll ask me, and I'll tell them, yeah, I got a woman. And they be telling me, oh, you just, girl, you don't want none of this. You don't want to mess with me. Because oh, man, I just can't even talk about it. And I see it every day, but when you get my age, what I'm going to do with a girl 25? What I'm going to do with a woman 45? Because they still going, because they got grandmamas, great-grandmamas at 45.
I know it's crazy, right? Say Big Mama ain't 67 no more. 70.
No.
Big Mama 45 now.
Because grandmamas and older people, when I was growing up, it was different. They wore sweaters and long dresses right to here. Nowadays,
Them 45-year-olds be in the club with us.
in the club,
Man, you
pocket full of
You
bud.
can't tell if it's the mama or the daughter or the,
You just
or the
don't
grandma.
know. And they be,
Yeah.
I looked at, I looked at, all of them, the movie stars, I look at them like Megan Good. All of them, Kid Washington.
Harry Watson, yeah.
Lord have mercy, all of, and that girl, Regina Hall. I remember I seen Regina King at the Kroger's up in Forest Park one Christmas. Because she was from, and you look at it, and I just want to cry because there ain't nothing I can do. The tears just start coming out the eye. They be talking about, old man, can we help you? Get out of my face. Don't call me old. Because I'm mad I can't say nothing to you. But y'all right, y'all got it, but y'all just have to be careful because they got some stuff out here that when you be walking down the street, your stuff will fall off your body.
Man, hey, I do got one question though, because my grandpa like a little old school player. He used to have a water bed. You used to have one of them?
Let me tell you a story. I forgot. I didn't even mention this guy.
Don't get into it, OG.
I was married, but I'm the type of guy, I ain't going for no argument.
Right.
I'll just say, see you later. And I had kids there, which was wrong, but I ain't on that woman. I had a woman one time, because she spit on me. She spit on me to take a nap. And it was a reflex. But anyway, I was standing with this football player, played with the Bengals. And he needed his house done. He lived in Forest Park. And he knew that my daddy was a contract and everything. I told him I can do it. He said, but come on, you can live with me home. This was the year they went to the Super Bowl. The Bengals went to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I came in the house one day. He had bought me a water bed. It was bad.
It was cold.
It was bad. I said, why you got that? Because he had the hose coming up through the basement, to run the water. I said, what is this hose? He said, home. Go on in there and see what you got in there. I went in there, he had that bit of water was running in there. I said, it is over. It's over. I'm going to become a lifeguard. I'm going to become a lifeguard. And once he got up and everything, I was working for Lincoln Heights City Hall. I was a computer specialist, and they didn't even have a computer. I'm telling you, this is how we roll. But we used the one up the street. It used to be GES. You know where I told you St. Rita is? Where the bank is, was back up in there. You know this girl. I'm going to tell her. I'll tell you her name after we get off the air. But a water bed, if he told you about a water bed, that water bed, you ain't got to do nothing. You just shake it one time and then it's on. You ain't got to do nothing. A water bed was one of the best things they ever created back in the days. And if the woman knew you had a water bed,
She was on you.
she knocking on your door. Because they all wanted to go swimming. Yeah, the water bed, and they had all different kinds, shapes, everything. I remember I met a girl one time and they had that big red heart-shaped water bed. She stayed out on the west side off of Sunset. Sunrise, sunset.
She had a heart-shaped water bed.
A heart-shaped water bed.
That remind me. No, I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say that for after we get off the camera.
But I ain't gonna never say their name, but back in them days, if you had certain things,
Yeah.
you was the man. A job, a car, and your own place. And if you had a water bed,
You was that man, huh?
what the bed rhyme with? I ain't just gonna leave that alone. It was on. It was a headliner.
Man.
But life has been good to me. Y'all got it, man. I'm telling you, why y'all got a chance. Do what y'all doing, man. Cause they making money. They making money. The people out there doing this, right? I see this and I say, hey, they making money.
Yeah,
We didn't have none of this.
I'm trying to get there, for sure.
Y'all can make, man. And don't let them tell you can't. Because it's a lie.
No doubt.
They tell you can't, it's a lie. Because I got sisters. I got people in my friend, I done see they done did it. And my daddy tried to get me to do it, but I was hard-headed.
Man.
Because the table is set, y'all table set too, for y'all.
Yeah, for sure.
It's already started. Y'all eating now. Y'all just on the appetizer.
Yeah. Just
I
scratching the
think-
surface.
and they pay a lot more. You can make a lot. Like I said, my dad, we lived in a brand new house, bad house. And he wasn't making but $75 a week. With 6 kids and a wife. We ain't never been without a TV. I know, but one time, they were black and white. I remember when the color TV's out. I said, Daddy, when we gonna get a color TV? He say, son, the same thing they doing in color, they doing it in black and white.
It's all the same thing. Yeah. this little segment y'all know about called Quick Convo Questions with your boy Drinks and Convos. This is the segment where I ask my guests quick questions, quick one word questions. It's like a would you rather or something like that. Like I would say, would you rather want $1 million or something else like that. Question number 1: Whenever I wake up, I what you do when you wake up?
When I wake, I just be thankful that I woke up.
For sure. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Question number 2.
All these directed toward me.
Yeah, it's for you. It's quick combo questions. Question number 2. Would you rather find the love of your life or have $1 million?
I'd rather find the love of my life.
Okay then, OG. Okay. Question number 3. Would you rather have a good looking partner or an intelligent one?
I'm going to tell you like radio would tell you. I want both. No, I'd rather have an intelligent.
Yeah, for sure. Question number 4. Would you rather be rich or famous?
I'd rather be rich.
No doubt.
I would, because I'll get famous once I get rich.
For sure. Question number 5. My favorite position to be in is?
Say what?
My favorite position to be
I heard that position. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it could be any position, CEO, COO.
You said what now?
My favorite position to be in is,
The favorite position to be in?
Yeah, CEO is, a boss.
Hmm?
Like a CEO position or
Oh, okay.
something like that.
Favorite position. Comfortable. Yeah, I just want to be comfortable. It ain't got to be CEO. You mean you talking about force that, but I'm talking about I just rather be
It can be anything, any position.
anything. I'd rather be. I'd rather be a CEO.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 6. If you were stuck on an island and could only listen to 3 songs, what would they be?
Earth, Wind, and Fire. Love's Holiday. The Whispers. Just Say Yes.
Throwbacks right there.
Blue Magic.
What's
Come Over Me.
right now? That's a throwback for all
I can
for all
sing
y'all
to
players.
y'all.
Question number 7. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
To fly.
To fly. Gotta stay fly. Question number 8. I'm gonna switch this question up for you, I'm gonna switch this question up for you. If you had to tell your younger self, one important thing, what would you tell yourself? Your younger self.
Just be good to other people. Just have a good heart. Just be good to other people. That's all I can. But I was doing all of that. I did that. That's a tricky question right there.
Yeah.
Prepare for this. I guess you just have to say prepare for. How did you do that? And I can't make it do that. I would say that's a good question right there. That's a tricky.
Yeah.
If I was younger, what would I tell my younger self to do?
No, if like your age now, right, being 71, and let's say you time travel back in time to like your
68 when I was 18.
Yeah, like 18, 20-year-old self, 21.
What would I tell myself?
Yeah, what would you tell a 21-year-old Wordy right now? You being 71, some advice.
I don't know what to make. Always, you got to prepare yourself for the future. That's what I would tell me. Just prepare yourself for the future. Don't take nothing for granted.
Okay.
Just prepare yourself,
Prepare yourself for the future. All right. That's it. That's done. We had the OG on the episode today.
I sure appreciate it. Y'all having me here.
This has been another episode of Drinks and Convos, episode 9, baby. We in here, episode 9. Make sure that you like, subscribe. Make sure you continue to share the videos with your friends and family, man. continue to support us. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and on all platforms at Drinks and Convos. Don't you forget it. We on our way to greatness. All right. And take in what you learned today from the OG. He dropped a lot of gems, a lot of good stuff for the younger audience out there. So y'all pay attention, man. Respect the players out here, especially you young brothers, because like I said, he might know your mama.
Probably already do.
So, all right. This has been another episode. We're going to see y'all later. Peace.
Peace.